Hey guys, my name is Olga, this is Money Value, and we are back with some juicy details about Apple. And of course, I mean the apple and not just any fruit. If you have watched our previous video, how to do stock analysis, you already know that there are two approaches, fundamental and technical. And today we're gonna cover both of them, so you will see how they're applied in real life. So let's start with some basic information. As you can see on the screen, according to Apple's last quarter's report, their enterprise value has reached $1.87 trillion, and about a couple of months ago it was over $2 trillion. This is the first company ever to reach such a capitalization. Just in case, I'll remind you, EV is total company value, which is the market value of common equity, debt, and preferred equity minus short-term investments and value of cash. Keep watching our videos and you won't need explanations like that. Well, now, since we dealt with one of the most important figures, let's see what else you need to know. Yep, still the basics. So the headquarters are in Cupertino, California, and the CEO is Tim Cook. Look at his photo in case you run into him in your local supermarket. Doubtfully, but you never know. By the way, fun fact, he's a rare billionaire that doesn't own funding equity of the company he runs. As for those who actually are shareholders, here is a picture of top 10. As you can see, the first three are the Vanguard Group Incorporated, owning 6.95%, followed by Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated with 5.45% and BlackRock Fund Advisors with their 4.20%. If you are interested, you can pause the video here and investigate them a little. The next thing, the stock value is about $124 as of today. And this is after 5 splits that Apple has gone through throughout these years. If the splits never happened, the price of Apple stock today would be around $27,000. Before thinking about the future and analyzing the present, you need to learn little history, and that's what we are gonna do now. Do you know when this company was founded? Well, I do. It happened on April 1st, 1976. I'm pretty sure you'll do better answering the question about the founders. Everybody knows about two Steves, Steve and Paul Jobs and Steve and Gary Wozniak. However, there was one more person who is usually not mentioned. His name is Ronald Gerald Wayne. Steve Jobs met him while working for Atari. Not only Wayne participated in the development of the computers, but he also wrote manuals and even developed the very first logo. By the way, here it is. Unfortunately, in 1976, he got terrified of Jobs' crazy ideas and possible risks and sold his company share, which was 10%, for $800. Now I really feel bad for him, as it was the end of his career. He ended up selling seals and coins at the Nevada trailer park. So much for not taking a risk. As you might know, by the year 1982, Apple began netting $1 billion a year, which Ronald commented with the words, and I quote, "Best decision with the information available to me at the time." I think this story can teach us 2 lessons. First, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Second, have no regrets. Everything you've ever done was or seemed reasonable at the time. One more fun fact, he had never owned anything from Apple until in 2011 he got an iPad as a present. Do you think that maybe he was a bit put out after all? Well, let's get back to Apple's uniqueness. It's one of few companies that use planes for product delivery instead of more conventional ferries. I know what you want to say, it's way more expensive, but it's still reasonable, and I'll tell you why. First of all, thanks to that, their gadgets appear on store shelves real quick. Secondly, planes are difficult to rob and nearly impossible to hijack. By the way, its main partner in the area is Cathay Pacific. But coming back to Earth, it's no secret that recently the whole world has been struggling with the coronavirus pandemic. However, Apple stocks are up 140%. And that's despite all the lockdown-related difficulties. Do you still think overpaying for a delivery is a mistake? Today, Apple is a leader in its area on the market. I remember that the whole reason you are watching this video is that you want to invest. So it's pretty obvious that your question would be, should I invest in Apple now? Be patient, we'll get there. Well, only the lazy hasn't talked about Apple stock being a bubble, seeing the reason in the stock's price. One of the key factors responsible for a steady increase in the price is that Apple repurchases its own stocks. Ergo, the amount of available stocks in the market decreases. What else is really important to know? Maybe now you'll think, why the hell would I want to know that? But there is a very good reason you'll soon realize. And yep, I'm seriously gonna talk about processors in the video about investments. So recently, Apple has released a MacBook with M1 processor. According to technical specification, it has totally outclassed the competition. Their engineers are now working on the M1 improvement, which could outrun even Intel with their newest developments. In case Apple succeeds, the whole industry that has depended on one and only supplier for a long time will be seriously transformed. The very first M1 was released in November. By 2022, Apple is planning to become fully Intel-less and M1 full. That kind of Apple self-reliance would allow it to increase its shares on the PC market. By the way, one more interesting fact. Currently, supplying Mac gives Intel about 10% of their income. There is one more important announcement to make. The first M1 update is planned for either spring 21 or the following autumn, Bloomberg says. Another thing, shares are traded on the American Nasdaq and London Stock Exchange. They can only be purchased through the brokers who have run there. And now, we've almost got to the answer you are waiting for. Let's turn to the technical analysis and be honest. Apple stocks are overbought. They have risen 3 times since January 2019. During this time, there was only one short period when, thanks to active sales, the stock prices dropped 35% from the peak value at the time. As for the recent news, after iPhone 12 release, the stock price has dropped 14% in 2 weeks. It was an expected event with a pretty predictable result, so there was no wow effect on stock prices. So in my opinion, and here's your answer, you'd find the best moment to purchase a stock by the averaging strategy. You have to wait for so-called corrective action, and only then purchase a paper you want so bad. Any raise is followed by a fall, it's just a matter of time. So, final advice, it would be a great idea to wait before buying. However, if you are too impatient, I would recommend you to buy a small amount of stocks every month, spending on investment just as much money as you are ready. But what I am talking about, you already know that, because you have watched my first video how to do stock analysis and gave ear to my money management advice. Well, bye for now, I'll be back with more information real soon. Stay tuned and share this video with your friends, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you, bye!